we get experimental science. We're curious, non-judgmental.
Oh, hi everyone. Welcome on in. We're in an aquarium and there's a hippo. What's going on?
They are
Let's do it.
semi-aquatic.
Neil, hi, Yoga Garo. Welcome in, y'all. We are at an aquarium today. Hello, Ramon. But we can meet the hippo, Lita.
I know. The question is, would they let us stream it?
True.
That's always what we want to know.
Thank you for streaking with us, Lara Gale. First animal coming up, we have the East African spiny-tailed lizard.
It's right over there.
Oh, there it is.
I'm going to take her down to look at the hippos. She's a little fussy.
Okay.
I'll turn my mic off.
There we go, y'all. There we go. Look at that little lizard there. Moo, thank you for the resub, my friend. Moo, how the heck are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Reese Cub, good to see you. It is, oh, and no, that's not another one. Jaded Fairy, hi. There they are. Ooh. Been napping all day? Nice, Moo. We are at the aquarium. Trying to get it in focus, but we do have our two hippos here. These are actually related to the ones that we saw at Disney's Animal Kingdom. We're gonna go ahead and go around, y'all, and try to get a better view of the hippos. The Adventure Aquarium, yes. Thindall, thank you for that resub at tier 3. Thank you very much, Thindall. Hey, I'm gonna go on the viewing platform area. Let's go ahead and try to find some hippos. It looks like Munchkin has found someone. Munchkin has found somebody, y'all. Thindall, how are you doing? Did Munchkin find someone?
We have the two hippos are up sleeping.
Here, we're gonna switch for a sec.
Okay.
Munchie wants to come over.
Sorry guys, I forgot that I had turned my mic off, so you didn't get a Munchkin screaming in your ear. We have two hippos. Need to teach her to say hi, chat. I know, I think those are going to be her next two words. She has Anya and Appa halfway down.
That was very clearly Appa, says Jaded Fairy. What do you think, Munch? Look at the hippos.
So we're going to I'll take you back to see the hippos in just a second, guys. We have some information about them up here if you guys are interested. It says there are two hippos here. Jenny, born in 2000 at Disney's Animal Kingdom in Florida. There we go. Jenny is an easygoing hippo. She trains quickly and is eager to learn. She's much larger than Button. Also, her eyes are more prominent and she has bumps between her ears. So I think she's the one laying nearest to us. We'll go back and look at her in a second. And then Button, a little bit older, born in 97, comfortable with her trainers once she gets to know them. So maybe, you know, I think that that's a euphemism for something, but here we go. She can quickly pick up new behaviors and seems to enjoy training when she's not in one of her fickle phases. Chat. Who here relates to Button? I relate to Button a little bit more than Jenny. Fiona. I know, Fiona the hippo is in Cincinnati, and I cannot wait. We're going to go visit her sometime, I hope. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So this, I believe, is Jenny. Significantly bigger. I think we're looking at the button butt, as it were. The button rear on the other side of the screen. I know they gave us some identifiers if we're looking straight on their face, but I think size is pretty noticeable. But these are the same species as Fiona. And they have a pretty nice expansive habitat here. We'll go take a peek. I think they have some fish in the aquatic area. Hippo sleepy time, I know. It's actually really cool. I don't often, when we visit with hippos, either at zoos or aquariums, they're usually napping in the water. So I think that's really interesting. All right, I'm hoping we're going to have reception down here, guys. We're going a little bit deeper into the aquarium. And let's see. Here we go. Holy moly, you guys. We have a wide variety. And we'll look at some of their informational placards. But first, let's look at these crazy fish, y'all. Yeah, they are known as river horse. They also have some ruder names, but river horse is the one I'm most familiar with if we're looking for a common alternative name. We have a lot of fish species in here, which is really cool to see, you guys. Very cool to see. So hippos are considered a keystone species in their river ecosystems and their riparian ecosystems. And that is because at night, they will venture up onto the land, eat grass and whatnot. They digest that food. They come back into the water to chill out during the day. And they do what animals do and poop up a storm. And that brings nutrients into the river system. And so that supplies fish with a lot more access to nutrients than they otherwise would have. And so a lot of these fish actually directly feed on hippo droppings. I don't know these species of fish off the top of my head, but I'm hoping maybe there's a placard because I'd like to see. There are quite a few different species. Just glancing here, I'm seeing 5 different species. Let's go see if we can find out. $10, are we blaming Linnaeus for something? I mean, we can blame him for a lot of things, to be fair. Ooh. Okay, we have a little bit of information here about fish. Let's see. I don't think it's actual information about fish species, which is what I was looking for, but let's take a peek anyway. Can I just say I at least appreciate that they have informational placards. One of my criticisms about some of the places we visited previously is just you've struggled to even find out a gosh darn even a species name about what we were looking at, which was a little frustrating. Okay. Because we all go to the zoo and the aquarium to learn stuff, not just to look at cool animals. Okay. Helpful friends. This is the one placard I see about the fish. Although if I see a zookeeper, or gosh, zookeeper, listen to me. If I see an aquarium staff member, I will ask them. But this is what the placard says in case you guys can't read it. healthy and happy. Jenny and Button get regular checkups from the vet. They are also trained to open their mouth, lay down, and allow staff to draw blood from their tail. They even get hippo-sized toys such as pumpkins and tractor tires. Bath time. Cichlids are one of the largest families of fish, and many species are found in rivers where hippos live in Africa. The fish will clean the hippos by nibbling debris and parasites from the hippo's skin. And I've also observed them, I know this happens in the wild, but they will also nibble from the inside of their mouth from time to time if it's a particularly bold fish. I mean, hippos are mostly herbivorous, but still, I don't know if you guys have seen a hippo's tusks, but that is a bold fish that's willing to get near those. Lever's broken again. We see Balint and Munchkin. Coffee Rocks, welcome the heck in. We'll have to go back and figure out what these fish species are. You guys, we actually took the plunge and got a membership. We didn't just do day tickets, we did a membership. So we'll have to come back 1 or 2 more times over the course of the year. And so I'll do a little snooping into what different species of fish we have in here. I could maybe take a hazard a guess at some of these, but I don't really want to. The chat, you guys are, one of you in chat at least is going to be more equipped to do this than I am. Give the Nell, welcome the heck in. She looks just like him. Are we talking about Munchkin? They even have the same haircut, which I didn't really do on purpose. I'm the one who took her to get her haircut. And I was like, I just want bangs so it stays out of her eyes and just sort of tidied up a little bit so it's not getting snagged everywhere. And from the looks of it, Munchie will appreciate the membership. I think so. Although technically Munchkin gets in for free for about another year or so. All right, let's go. I'm going to check in with Balint. We might go take one more look at the hippos. I just think it's neat that they're out of the water and we can take a peek at them. It is a little bit unusual. Typically, we do know hippos go up on land, but typically when they're resting, you see them resting in the water. But these guys are loafing about. Oh, here, we'll just hang on. We're going to just look at a few more of these placards. Vulnerable and in decline. We never like to hear that, but how often have we seen that on a placard at a zoo or aquarium? Okay. Struggling survivors. Hippos have few natural predators, although crocodiles, lions, and even other hippos are danger to small calves. Yeah, you guys, if you don't look that up. There are some terrible scenes of hippos attacking baby hippos. It's not, don't Google it. Hippos rely on clean, fresh water. Human activities and severe drought have had a negative effect on hippo population. There's also a lot of human-hippo conflict. Hippos are really dangerous in the wild. I mean, they're not like a lion. They're not going to go out of their way, but they're territorial. And I think because they're herbivores, people underestimate their danger, how dangerous they can be. So poachers prey. Thousands of hippos have been killed for their canine teeth made of ivory, which are then traded around the world. Game scouts are hired to protect the hippos, but illegal hunting is an ongoing issue, which is true for a lot of other animals that we've talked about. Rhinos, elephants, anything that has big teeth. Missy Vet, welcome the heck in. Okay, and we have a little hippo preserve here in case anybody's curious. Cliff Allister, how many hippos are there currently in the world? That is a great question, and I knew this not that long ago. Of this particular species has been doing pretty well in captivity, at least we can say. They have a really robust breeding program. Okay, we have a little sign here. I'm not going to turn around to show you guys because I think you will, it is very tight quarters, but the sign says hippos are born underwater and weigh about 100 pounds. We are not here visiting Fiona. She's out in Cincinnati. Fiona, the famous hippo. We will go visit her one day soon. She was unusual because she was born she weighed 30 pounds. This sign, I think, is being a little generous. Usually river hippos are born anywhere from 60 to 100 pounds, I do believe.
And Cliff asked how many Nile hippos there are in the world.
Yeah.
There's 115,000 currently.
Okay.
It's gone down because about 10 years ago we had 157,000.
Okay. And is that in the wild or in captivity? I don't imagine that's in captivity. Is that a total?
That's
or is
a total
a
number.
total. So
Total
both in
number.
captivity and in the wild.
Yeah, and that does account into the Colombian hippos as well.
Okay. Is anyone trying to breed in captivity then and release in the wild? I don't know of any groups that actively are trying to release back into the wild. I think in large part because the population, there's still a robust enough breeding population in the wild, but there are big breeding programs going on in captivity to maintain genetic diversity. So any of these zoos or aquariums that are accredited, they participate in breeding programs that are organized. It's like international organization actually manages the breeding to make sure that genetic diversity is being maintained. And so sometimes an animal will be transferred from one zoo to another, not necessarily by request, but simply because that was the breed pairing that, you know, the population geneticists and animal welfare people determined would be best. Moose Herd Raiders, welcome the heck in. Holy moly, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us on a Sunday. We are at the aquarium. This is one of the weird aquariums that has hippos, which I love. I love hippos, you guys. Thank you so much for that follow, Thomas to Space. We appreciate it. Welcome the heck in to the colony.
See, we've got a raid from the lovely Moose Ref, the artiste extraordinaire, and one-time hot tub streamer. One time. Moose, how was your stream? How's everything going, guys? Go follow our friend Moose Ref right meow.
And Allie, thank you so much for that follow. Welcome the heck in.
Raiders coming in. I'm Balint.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. We're going to zoom down here. That's Balint.
That's Munchkin.
Munchkin. And I'm Lita, the mysterious, disembodied voice behind the camera currently.
We are research scientists with our PhDs in molecular biology. We do live science content here on Twitch every day of the week. Today's our IRL day at an aquarium.
And also, Randon, thank you so much for that follow. We appreciate it. Welcome the heck in. Where is this aquarium? It is in New Jersey. It's actually in Camden, New Jersey. It looks big. So I think this is one of the smaller aquariums. I mean, it's not tiny, but this hippo exhibit is really nice. This is a generous hippo exhibit, and I love it. Harissa, welcome in. How are you, friend?
Munchkin loves the fish. She's all about
Yeah,
it.
here we're gonna hang out with the Munchkin for a second. She's being a quality docent, showing you people, lovely people on stream here, all of the cool fish you should be looking at. Apparently that rock is also super interesting.
Also, Captain Coder, welcome in, Captain. How are you doing? How's the game jam? It's about to start.
I believe it still has 10 days.
10 days.
10 days. Didn't know you could find hippos in an aquarium. Yeah, Castle Dreamer. It is a little bit unusual. I think this is the only aquarium I've been to, at least it's the only one I can think of, that has hippos. They are semi-aquatic, so. Hey, Smikes, welcome the heck in. Or possibly you've been here the whole time and I just didn't see you. All right, what do you say we go take one more peek up at those hippos since we had a good view of them, and then we'll move on.
And yes, Moose, please link everything. Link all your socials, link everything that you do. You know the drill, my friend.
Yes, please do. Because we're out in the IRL, we can't pull stuff up, unfortunately. But please drop the socials. You guys know how to do it.
And Raiders, yeah, Lita will show you the hippos. There is a hippo feeding at 2:30.
Okay, so
if we wanted to come back for that.
Yeah, and you guys, please go drop that follow for Moose Ref. Absolutely. Go check out all of the amazing socials that they have. And we're gonna just take one quick peek back up at these hippos, and then we'll move on, and we will return because this is one of my favorite exhibits here. Were the hippos both female? Yes. Thought they're supposed to be super aggressive. Well, they can be human aggressive if you're not being mindful. These hippos have certainly been acclimated to their trainers, first of all. And as far as hippo aggression goes, a lot of that has to do during mating season or the males. Females do cohabitate, that, you know, and hippos do exist in sort of a pod, in little mini herds. They are social animals, but there will be flare-ups of aggression, like I said, especially during mating season. Does Munchie love the aquarium? Well, we just got here, but she in general does seem to enjoy looking at all of the various little critters. She seemed to enjoy the aquarium more than she enjoyed the zoo in the past. Maybe she can just, because she can get closer. We got a little bit of a view here. They haven't changed position too much. The one sort of almost facing us, the one that we have a good profile view of, I suppose, is Jenny, I believe. She's the one that's substantially bigger. She's just hanging. So she's the bigger one. They're both well into their 20s though, chat. Which is a pretty good lifespan for a hippo.
Underwater. Oh, I see one. You gotta use it like so. Come on, Ezra.
Got just a slightly different angle, a little bit. I love their whiskers, chat. I think they're just adorable. And if we're lucky, maybe at some point we'll see them doing their little business. They're spraying. It's hilarious. All right, guys, hang on. We're turning. I'm trying to not do it too fast. I don't want to make anybody sick. A hippo's lifespan is typically 40 to 50 years. I think that's in captivity, though, is it not? I know Henry, the hippo, was what, in his mid-30s when he passed? Age 61. Holy moly. Here's the other thing, chat. I think we've talked about this with other animals. It is a little bit hard to know what the lifespan of a wild animal is, especially when they live, you know, sure. If they live 10 years or less, a researcher can do a study. They can track from birth, get a really good sense of how long these animals are living in the wild. But when an animal's living decades, maybe even 100 years or more, you have to start looking at like molecular or chemical ways of dating the animals. It can be tricky. Now, it's one thing if they're in captivity, of course, because they'll be really good records. But that's quite the multi-generational study. It spans at least a couple scientists' careers if you're trying to figure out some of these longer-lived species. So one of the ways to do it is turn to, like I said, chemical or molecular ways of estimating age. Oh, yes, you guys, we have jellyfish. Oh, holy moly. I love jellyfish. I think I've said this before. I love jellyfish. They are just one of the most ridiculous creatures on this planet, and I love it. This is the Pacific sea nettle. They get up to 12 inches, but their tentacles can be 15 feet. I could just stand here forever. You guys, I love jelly exhibits. Okay, so there's a little placard here that says jelly frenzy. As seawater temperatures rise and pollution increases, jellies are finding it easier to grow and survive. An explosion in jelly numbers could affect worldwide fisheries and our beach vacations, which is usually a little bit of a different story than what we hear when we talk about seawater rise, temperature rise, ocean acidification, ocean pollution. I do know that ocean pollution is causing a little bit of a problem for some jelly species. Yeah, here, let's get a little zoom out of Balint, Munchkin, and the jellies. See, again, she's instructing you guys, pointing for you guys. Are you seeing are you looking at all of the jellies in case you've missed them? She's pointing at them for you. Hi, Munchkin. When we were little.
Had a question earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
About how many hippo species there are.
How many hippo species?
And there are two of them.
Yes.
There's the Nile hippo and there's the pygmy hippo.
So jellies usually have pretty short lifespans, at least when they're in the medusa phase. This is what we call the medusa phase here, what we think of when we talk about jellies. But they spawn. So to reproduce most jelly species, not all of them, but the vast majority of jelly species, they all congregate together, and it's just madness of releasing sperm and eggs and hoping for fertilization. And then when they fertilize, they go into a polyp phase eventually, and they settle down. They attach themselves to a surface. They settle down. they can actually then kind of reproduce at that stage. They can bud, depending on the species, they can bud. And you can get multiple polyps from a single fertilization. And then eventually they become the Medusa phase, and that's where they'll reproduce sexually. And so it's interesting that they have a phase of asexual reproduction where they're essentially cloning themselves. It is different than parthenogenesis because it's just a classic form of cloning, really. They're just duplicating themselves. I could sit and watch jellies for hours too, yeah. All right, let's see where Balint has gone to. So that was the Pacific Sea nettle. Not sure where Balint has gone. I'm going to just wander back to the hippos and start talking about hippo evolution pretty quickly if someone doesn't stop me. Let's see. I think maybe they went the other way. Maka Waka, happy Sunday to you as well. Oh, yeah. There they are. I see them. I'm trying to go slow, you guys. If I end up swinging you around too much, you just have to give me a heads up. I'm trying. Oh, yes, we have moon jellies. We have moon jellies. Moon jellies are one of those odd species of jellyfish that actually, they don't just spawn, they do actually collect. The females will collect the sperm and fertilize inside themselves. So they brood at least a little bit. These guys can get a little bit bigger. They can get 15 inches in diameter, so bigger than the nettles, but their tentacles aren't nearly as long. All right.
Wait, that's the
Oh, we have some eels, you guys. I think I mentioned this before. Gosh, when we were at one of the, when we were at one of the aquariums, but one of the neatest things about eels, in my opinion, I mean, okay, yeah, some of them can generate little pulses of electricity to stun their prey. That is not this kind of eel. But what I love about these guys is how elongated and weird they are. There are a couple different ways to change how elongated you are. Like, we can think about a giraffe. They have really long necks, but they didn't actually change the number of vertebrae that they had compared to their ancestors. Their vertebrae just got bigger and longer. The other strategy, but it means they're not as flexible, right? So they have the same number of neck vertebrae that we do, giraffes. Eels, I don't know if you guys can see this guy. He's down in the corner, tucked up a little bit. I'm going to move along. I'm going to finish my thought and we're going to move along because I think Balint's getting quite a bit ahead of us. So eels just have increased the number of vertebrae they have to an incredible extent. It depends on the species. But they just have many more vertebrae. So they didn't get bigger. They just have a lot more of them. And that allows them to be really flexible and maneuverable. Oh, and I guess we've left the stroller behind. I'm going to go get that. Why don't we...
Did you see the octopus?
Oh, I didn't. Why don't you... Here, let's trade. I'll take Munchkin for a bit, and you show people the octopus. And I'm going to go get the stroll. Oh, here's the stroller.
Well, Cass, I don't want us to be scary and look up there, you know. It could be very intimidating. But there you go. I'm not entirely sure why it's scary. But this will be the giant Pacific octopus we have in here. So it can become 9 to 16 feet when adult. Pacific Ocean, depth of 360 to 4,900 feet. And there y'all go. There it is. Yeah, we'll go around the other side in a second. There we go. That's a good view. Thank you for coming, Casey. Casey, we're doing IRL content, aiming every Sunday through the summer. That's the big goal. And guys, go check out our friend Casey's snow art as well. Amazing artiste extraordinaire. There y'all go. There's the octopus. I'd be curious if there was any escaping behavior that this one's done. Looks like it has some really cool enrichment as well. Some bricks to take apart. Some puzzle boxes as well. And then a whole bunch of starfish. There's the munch. We've got a shark in there too. I'm not sure yet what shark, but we're gonna find out. There is a little, this is the Atlantic lumpfish that's in here. There it is, the Atlantic lumpfish. Agathor, hello, how's it going? Demilicious, no, Demi Delicious, welcome in Raiders. How was your stream, Demi? Demi, tell us all the details. How was your stream? What were y'all up to today? Welcome, welcome on in, everybody. Guys, go check out our friend, the lovely Demi Delicious. How was your just chatting? What were y'all chatting about today? Yeah, we have in here, they're closer to the top, Atlantic lumpfish. For the Raiders coming in, my name is Balint, 1/3 of SciAnts streams. The other 2/3 are Lita and baby Ilona.
Are you live?
Yeah, doing on Twitch, yeah.
How many people you got watching?
We got about 80 right now.
Oh, that's what's up.
Are you on Twitch?
Yeah, I'm doing Twitch.
Do you want a sticker?
Yeah, I'll get a sticker. That's sick. So what do you do?
We do science content.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then we do IRL stuff and talk to people at the science behind wherever we are.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
How many followers you got on like YouTube?
I'm not sure about YouTube. We got 10K on Twitch. So we're partners on Twitch. Yeah.
Nice. So you got 10K followers. How many subs?
That's between me and my wife.
Oh yeah. Sorry, bro.
No worries. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Stream was lovely. Have it end too fast on the brink of getting sick. I hope you feel better, Demi. Feel better. Thank you for the raid. Let's make sure we get you a fancy shout out as well. Just 1 second. There we go. There's a fancy shout out for you, Demi. Thank you again for the raid. Yeah, Cass, that was a Twitch user. So yeah, for those coming in, we do science content every day of the week with microscopy, art, sci-fi science news of the week, deep dives into scientific topics, games, 3D printing, IRL streams, model building, and more. And I'm currently looking for Lita. I don't know where she and the Munchkin ran off to, so we're going to take a quick look at the... Oh, no, I thought maybe they came back to the jellyfish, but not so much. He did take the sticker, Sam, yeah. Oh, there's the munchie.
Do you want to trade again?
We'll trade again.
All right, guys, you're coming back with me for a minute.
Munchie.
We're just trying to keep Munchie engaged.
Should we continue on?
Well, did you look at the shark exhibit? I think we can probably get another view from it, but let's go take a peek. Munchkin was enjoying herself. We'll just take a peek really quickly. I don't think we have the best view from them over here, although this is cool. You can see a lot of the different fish. But there are definitely other viewing areas, but we do have some shark in here. Sharks. I've only seen one species, but we'll see. I think it could just be our location also. There we go. We'll have to get a closer look to take a good guess at which species it is. So it's a little controversial, you guys, when sharks first decided to hit the scene, as it were, here on planet Earth. Somewhere between 450 million years ago and 400 million years ago. The fossil record is argued about. One of the problems is sharks have cartilage for their skeleton, so it just doesn't preserve very well. But regardless, we do know that they were hanging around here well before the dinosaurs ever showed up. One of the creatures we do know was in the sea, hanging out well before the sharks even, though, was jellyfish. They've evolved a lot since then, but we do know that jellies were here at least 500 million years ago. And you might think that that's weird, right? I mean, if shark don't preserve well in the fossil record because of their cartilage, how the heck do jellyfish preserve? You know, how are they maintained? And honestly, they don't. At least not in the way we think of. It's not as though their bodies are preserved, but we can find impressions of where their body was. And that's how we know that there were jellyfish. But it's really extremely uncommon to find the other kind of fossils for these jellies. And I think we lost Balint, so I'm just kind of meandering back. Okay. We're starting to see some placards here, and we have different views. Ooh, I see sharks up here, you guys. Okay, so here are some of the species of fish that we have here. We can all keep an eye out for. I'm going to go over here for a second. We have a tomate grunt, a sergeant major, a jackfish, a lane snapper. I think we might have an angry munchkin, I'm not sure. There are stingrays in here apparently. We have a rough-tailed stingray, a red grouper. I think those guys are pretty recognizable. So we have a rough-tailed stingray and a southern stingray. Graysby grouper, a white grunt, Bermuda chub, yellowtail snapper, gag grouper. So we'll keep an eye out for some of these guys. Ooh, we see there's a couple yellowtail snappers right here, actually. If we want to take a little zoom in. Never heard of an angry munchkin fish? Well, I can tell you, we can observe one. So these are the yellowtail snappers. They're pretty easily identifiable. They have that a yellow stripe running down their side, and then their tail fin, and there's usually sort of a yellow crest also. Makes them pretty identifiable. And I see more sharks over here. I think we can get I'm hoping we can get a pretty good view of the sharks. And actually, I mean, I haven't seen the rays, but a lot of you might already know this, but rays are actually lumped in there with sharks. We usually separate them when we're talking about them sort of colloquially, but taxonomically. Okay, here we go. We have sand tiger shark and nurse sharks, black-tip sharks, and sandbar sharks. Here, we'll see. The nurse sharks are pretty docile as far as sharks go. I mean, not that docile, but as far as a shark goes. And you can recognize them because they have these little mustaches. The black-tip sharks, usually pretty easy to identify because as their name suggests, they actually have just a little black tips on a lot of their fins. Sand tiger sharks are really cool. They're one of those sharks. They actually have 2 uteruses, which is unusual. When you think about it, a lot of times we think one animal, but each womb can only support one offspring. And so you might think, okay, well, that's not that weird. Humans often, I mean, yes, we have twins and triplets and other, multiple pregnancies from time to time, but commonly it's a single fetus in the one womb. That's not uncommon. But humans do that by generating typically one fertilized embryo, and then that implants and leads to a pregnancy. That is not what sand tiger sharks do. They do not have time for that, chat. They don't have time. So they actually will produce multiple embryos, sometimes from multiple males, and there's a little theory about that we can get into it if you guys are interested. But whatever embryo hatches first, it grows the most quickly. So there could be up to 12 fertilized and sometimes also unfertilized eggs hanging out in that one uterus, and multiple of them will even turn in, hatch from the egg, actually be little tiny discernible sharks. And whichever one is big enough, when it reaches a threshold size, I think it's about 3 inches, but I could be misremembering that, it will go around and eat any of its siblings that are sharing the womb with it. And it will eat also any unfertilized eggs. And that helps it grow really quickly. And that will be happening in each womb, assuming, both were successful. So the sand tiger shark will have 2 offspring, and by the time they're ready to enter their world, they're usually about 3 feet, bigger than a baseball bat or longer than a baseball bat. Thinking about artificial wombs again, I know. There are, you know, we always talk about sharks being unusual because they tend to give live birth, which is true. In the majority of shark species, they do that. Some shark species do lay eggs, though. So it's not an absolute rule. It's common for sharks to give live birth, but not every shark will do it. There's documentary footage inside sand tiger shark womb. How did they get footage in? It's not like CGI. I saw like from a research article, they had some kind of imaging, but I think that was from a dissection. I'd have to go back and look. Andrea, welcome the heck in. Endoscope, yeah, I don't know. I will look into it because that's really interesting. All right. I haven't seen any nurse sharks. Have you guys seen any nurse sharks? I've seen a number of sand tiger sharks. Here, I'm going to go back to the board so you guys can help me identify. We have 4 different shark species. We're excluding the race. Thank you so much for that gift sub, you guys. I'm sorry if we missed some of these. We don't get notifications. I'm so sorry. We really appreciate that. It's really generous of you. Okay, we have the sand tiger shark up here. I feel like of the sharks in this bunch, it is one of the sharkiest looking sharks. It has a pretty exaggerated hump is how I think about it, at least compared to these other sharks. Okay, we have a sandbar shark. Okay. We have a black tip shark. Dead giveaway is actually the little tips of black. It's like it was dipped in ink. Its little ends were dipped in ink. And then a nurse shark with its little mustache. Oh, actually, maybe that was a nurse shark swimming up top. We'll see if they want to come by for a little photo shoot. Okay, so these guys heading our way, I think, are sand tiger sharks. Do you see what I mean by that exaggerated hump that they have? Oh, we had a different species. I do think there's, I don't want to like whip the camera around you guys because I don't want to make anybody sick. I do think there's a nurse shark swimming around up there. Ooh! Just went by, but went the wrong way. All right. Well, there was a nurse shark swimming around to the left of us. I don't think we can get a good view of it, but maybe in one of the other viewing areas. I saw a sandbar shark, or what I'm pretty confident is a sandbar shark. We have these guys again. Look at these beautiful creatures. There was a study done, oh gosh, I think it was in like 2022 or 2023, pretty recent. Pretty recent. Oh, I think that might be a black tip. Okay, anyway, so there was a study done. And I think it was mostly looking at white sharks. But 95% of the time when you are in the ocean, you are near white sharks. And there are very few human shark incidents. Those are mostly juvenile sharks. I think this is a better view of the fish we were looking at earlier, guys. Can you see that? The distinctive, you know, yellow striping. Yeah, so the reputation of these sharks. Woo, here we go. I think that was a black-tip shark that just decided to cruise right past us. I don't know how good of a view we got of it, but okay. Let's turn around and see how Munchkin is doing. Oh, Munchkin is having some bunny grams right now. We're out of cheddar bunnies, chat. For those of you who've been with us for our IRL adventures. She's usually demanding of her cheddar bunnies. And I've not been to the store to get her new cheddar bunnies. She does have bunny grams though. I'm gonna just wait here. I kind of rushed ahead of Balint and the Munchkin. We're gonna just wait here for a minute. Run to the good signal spot, I know. Okay, I don't know if we can get a good view of this. I do remember this from the aquarium, you guys. They have some cool sculptures, recreations. Look at this guy. He is more impressive IRL, I can promise you that. I think, oh, here we go. Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is Leperodon, but here we go. There's actually a placard. There's a placard right here, so I don't have to guess. All right, time period, mid-Jurassic through early Cretaceous. It means smooth-sided tooth. Shockingly, it's carnivorous. I know with those teeth, you never would have guessed. Up to 34 feet long. A pliosaur. Short-necked. Short-necked plesiosaur with a massive head, big mouth. Perfectly adapted to attack, kill, and eat large prey. Like modern sharks, the position of its nostrils suggest Leo, I guess they're calling it Leo, could smell its prey while still out of visual range. I thought its teeth were 34 feet. Yeah, could you imagine? Not even the Megalodon, you guys. Although, I will say, also, Allie, welcome to Heck in Drawing and Listening. Multitasking, that's the way to do it. You know who's the master multitasker is Balint. I am not that capable. If I multitask, maybe I can multitask two things, but things go downhill pretty rapidly. I do not have the attention. All right, here we go. Plesiosaur. This is a classic Plesiosaurus here. Early Jurassic, late Jurassic, Jurassic through early Jurassic. Name meaning is almost lizard. Size is 11 feet. I'm pretty sure that's not Munchkin, if you guys can hear that crying. I do not recognize that cry. I recognize the anger and rage in the cry, but I do not recognize that specific cry. Dacosaurus. The skull and teeth are similar to those found in some meat-eating dinosaurs. 2-inch serrated teeth were ideal for crushing bone of large prey and slicing meat into manageable chunks. Wouldn't that be convenient if we just had little steak knives just built into our mouth? No one wants to cut with a butter knife. I agree with the serration, I suppose. Archaeolon. This is a sea turtle. However, if I am remembering correctly, I don't see this anywhere on the board. If I am remembering correctly, late Cretaceous, the name meaning is ruling turtle. I believe this is one of the massive sea turtles that actually isn't directly related to the modern sea turtle lineage. I'm pretty certain. So there were a number of sea turtles, as in turtles that took to the sea, that they are in the turtle grouping, but didn't directly lead to modern day sea turtles. Looks like a giant loggerhead. They say it had a soft, leathery shell similar to modern leatherback sea turtles. Huge flippers suggest it was a long-distance swimmer. All right, you guys, I think maybe we'll trade. I might take Munchkin. She's looking a little bit fussy. I'm going to turn my mic off and trade, give you guys back over to Balint.
All right, y'all are back with me now. Hold on, we're gonna park the stroller here. All right, so it looks like Lita was taking y'all through the different images here. We saw did y'all see the Dacosaurus?
Yeah, I should.
Okay.
I'm going to put her in her stroller and give her a bath and see if she wants to take a nap.
Sounds good. I'm going to take y'all up while Munchie's getting angry. Munchie's very angry, chat. All right, up we go. Thank you, Coffee Rocks. So this is overlooking. No, Ice, she wanted to walk. And she doesn't have any shoes yet. We need to get her some nice shoes. This is right above the shark tank. And they actually have a really cool area that you can walk over it, called the Shark Bridge. But here again is just a little higher up view of where Lita was taking y'all. Hi, Andrea. These are like my favorite things to look at, where you just got like a whole wall of the different fish. It would be Wombat. Yeah, we're gonna try to be, eventually do a little behind the scenes something where we can talk to folks about like how things are run. Hi, Munchkie. See, all this is Shark Bridge, where you can walk over the sharks.
if I'm gonna stay here with Munchkin, but you want to see if Deception, or do you think I could take a stroller?
No, there's no stroller there.
Oh yeah, well I couldn't remember if it was a. Oh, that's right, it's the ropey thing. Do you want to see if?
I can't do it with one arm. We did it last time, and
You can't do it with one arm, really?
yeah, I could not.
Okay. Do you want me to try?
If you want to, yeah.
Chat, do you want us to try the shark bridge? I don't know that it's going to be great content. We could always save it for next time. It is cool. It's like a rope bridge, but you're roped in, and so I'm worried you're not going to be able to see much. You want me to try?
Sure, you can try.
All right, chat. I'm going to try.
I'll scooch around with Munchkin.
Hoping we don't lose reception. Hey guys, good call. I totally forgot that I had my mic turned off. We're gonna give this a try, you guys. I'm hoping we don't lose reception, and I'm hoping that you guys can see something. It is a cool experience. You guys are ever here, I absolutely recommend this. I'm gonna just.
Milk in there. Somebody's still baby milk in.
Could I just sneak past you?
Oh, I thought you.
Here we go. Let's see how reception holds up. So you guys can at least see from the outside. Like I said, if you guys are here, you should check this out. You get to walk over the sharks. Yeah, there are sharks below. Yeah, it's not scary. It's just a cool, different view. Also, I'm in sandals, which is probably not my best move, but see, I think you guys are only going to get a view of the netting around me, unfortunately. And thank heavens we have a gimbal, because this is a little bit wobbly. It's not quite a rope bridge, but it's like a sturdy fabric bridge, so you wobble a little bit going over it. It is neat to see the sharks above, but like I said, you just can't really get a view. Oh, here. We're gonna just take a peek. Do you guys see that shark? Ooh. Probably not. A little bit. There. There are people behind me, so I don't want to hold it up too much, but it is neat to see. Oh, guys, there's some sharks doing some real silly things here. We're gonna go down and just take a peek. There was a shark swimming right along the edge, along the side. I just feel like goofing around.
Oh my God. What's up?
So you guys, after we had been talking about sharks for a while when we were down in Florida, we were out at the beach, and I swear I saw a little fin peek up out of the waves. And I thought, Self, you have sharks on the brain. That was definitely not what you thought it was. And then I saw another one, and I was like, okay, my eyes are playing tricks on me. And then I saw it again, and I was like, okay, 3 times? Really, 3 times? It turns out it was dolphins. You eventually could see them like playing, going upside, you know, flipping around out there. It was really cool. But I had this moment of, it's not sharks. Don't be hysterical. Don't fall into the trap. It wasn't sharks. Don't worry. And if it had been, we still probably would have been perfectly safe. But it was dolphins. It was a whole bunch of dolphins, which was really cool. Yeah, tricky dolphins. I know. I know. I'm hoping maybe Balints come through here. Oh, yeah, I see him. Uh-oh, chat. He's browsing. You know that means he's going to let Munchkin pick out another stuffy. We have so many stuffed animals. She has a mountain of stuffed animals, you guys. Yeah, I tried to get a video of the dolphins for you guys, so they were just a little too far offshore. I mean, they were close in person, but you know, the camera can't always pick that up. Oh, hang on. Stego Stampede. Everybody needs 30,000 stuffies. Raiders, welcome the heck in. Do you want to trade and take the Raiders for a few minutes?
Well, it's Fedorasaur. Fedorasaur, welcome. Oh, yeah, we can walk out. Fedorasaur, welcome on in. How the heck was your stream? What were y'all up to today? Tell us all the things. We are at the aquarium today. We're in the gift shop. We're about to work our way outward. Guys, go check out Fedorasaur. Was it Spyro Sunday? It was Art Sunday. Ooh. Fedorasaur, what were you up to today? Tell us all the things. And guys, go check out our friend, the lovely Fedorasaur. There's the Fancy Pants shout out. First time chatter, Ampulon, welcome in. Did some art today? What kind of art? Fedorasaur, feel free to share anything and everything. Raiders, my name is Balint. I'm 1/3 of SciAnts streams. The other 2/3 are my lovely wife, Lita, and our daughter, baby Ilona. Lita and I are research scientists with our PhDs in molecular biology, and we do live science content here on Twitch every day of the week. On Sundays, we're starting up doing IRL content, and today we're at Aquarium talking about cool marine biology. Welcome on in, everybody. We also do microscopy, art, sci-fi science, science news of the week, deep dives into scientific topics, games, 3D printing, IRL streams, model building, and more. Raiders, welcome on in. So for those interested, we are at the aquarium. It is pinned to the top of the chat of which one we're at. Lita is going to get herself a coffee, and we are going to continue to the next exhibit. If there's any particular animal that y'all are interested in seeing, let me know. You can check it out if they have it here. We have seen some hippos and a lot of sharks. And yes, this is one of those rare aquariums where they do have hippopotami. So we're on our way to different zones. Zone A, Fedorasaur, does have some hammerheads. So we're going to go see some hammerheads. And Great Zod, welcome on in. Another raid. Raiders, how are you doing? Great Zod, what were you up to today? Tell us all the things. What was the special event on the menu? Welcome in, Raiders. Just take y'all over to the side here, so we can get y'all a proper welcome. Here we go. Raiders, welcome on in. Welcome. My name is Balint, 1/3 of SciAnts streams. Other 2/3 are my lovely wife, Lita, and our daughter, baby Ilona. Lita and Ilona just stepped away to get a coffee, only for Lita, of course. We are research scientists with our PhDs in molecular biology, and we do live science content here on Twitch every day of the week. Microscopy, art, Sci-Fi Science, Science News of the Week, deep dives into scientific topics, games, 3D printing, IRL streams, model building, and more. Today, we're at the aquarium. We do IRL streams now on Sundays, and we take y'all around chatting about the cool science of wherever we're hanging out at. We were up to Xbox Live. Ooh, what were y'all gaming on the Xbox Live? And guys, go check out our friend, the lovely, great Zon. I just stepped outside for a minute, y'all, just to be able to follow and, you know, give y'all that shout out. And then we're going to be going over to the next batch of the aquarium. We have seen hippos, and we've also seen a bunch of sharks, some lizards too. Hello, Dukasoft, welcome in. No coffee for Munchie. All right. I think Munchkin coffee might be too early. Oh, it's an Xbox showcase on Twitch. Very cool, Connor. Connor, thank you for letting me know. And again, for those coming in, we are at the aquarium. Checking these out. Thindall, that might be a naughty message, so we're going to delete that. But we're at the beginning. So this is a new exhibit. This is the Amazon exhibit. Pinned to the top of the chat, consensual. Hello, 2 tickets. So look, we're looking at the Amazon rainforest ecosystem. There are some piranhas in there. Sea turtles, I believe so. I don't think manatees are on the menu. Not today, but we did have hippos. We got red-bellied piranha in here. Oh, low bit rate. We've also got banded lepornis, silver flagtail, royal paco. Because we're educators, Connor, and we do science content on Twitch, and we ask and they say it's okay. And then we've got the piranha exhibit here. Please keep hands out of water. But there they are. There's our piranhas. Exactly, Findall. I'm sorry, Dukasoft. Not in there. So, Sweet Tina Bell, we haven't been to this area yet, but she really liked the shark exhibit so far. She was very much about the sharks. Yeah, so Connor, we have in fact contacted them. So those are the people that we reach out to. Goose, thank you for the follow. And here's a piranha skull. So yeah, Connor, we reach out ahead of time to the media offices. Yep. And we make sure we have permission through the appropriate channels, and we have emails as well when we're in here saying that it's okay to do. And then Connor, our goal is actually when we do these contacts to get some behind the scenes stuff to be able to show you all, you know, how some of these things work. We're talking to the caretakers. We didn't have the time this go around to have that permission granted, but perhaps a little bit later on we'll be able to do that when we come back. There's some parakeets as well. So it looks like this is the yellow-naped Amazon. Longevity 40 to 60 years. And this one's name is Macbeth. So we have Macbeth out on display. Hello, Jern. Guys, my very besto friendo is in the his house. His name is Irish John Games. Please go wish us the game Rise of Piracy. Right meow. Absolute bestie. Hi, Queen Relish. I know, Jaden. My best defender. Sweet Tina Bell, thank you for the gifted to Cast the Dreamer. Thank you very much, sweet Tina Bell. Cass, please enjoy the ad-free viewing of the emotes made with love. We've never run into someone else that's been streaming. The only time that we've run into someone who was streaming was at the Ren Fair, and we were not streaming. Hello, Where Ducky. No, there's no one else in there right now. There's allegedly a bunch of others, like three other birds in there.
In front of their
A touch tank.
This is a good
Right, stingrays?
Yeah. Wait, there's Penguin Island.
Okay, we can go to Penguin Island.
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Hi, amateur archaeologists. Guys, go check out our friend.
I guess they lead to the same place. We can start with the stingrays.
The legendary amateur
But we had
archaeologist.
better not miss the penguins. That would be outrageous.
We will not miss Penguin Island. Oh, check that out, y'all. You remember when you fed this stingray?
Yeah, that was really cool. They do have something similar here, it seemed like.
I'm
going to take her to look at the penguins because she can't see.
Do you want to switch for a little bit? You want to switch for a little bit? Rest my shoulder?
Oh, do you need to?
Yeah, a little bit, if you don't mind. Thank you.
All right, guys. Yeah, you're stuck with me right now. Balint says his shoulders are feeling it a little bit. The underwater Roombas, yeah, they really kind of are. Their mouths are on the underside. I don't know if you guys can see it. What looks like where we would expect a different animal's ear to be is actually where they intake water for their gills. Let's see if we can get another one to come by. We can take a peek. And then their mouth is on the underside. And they kind of hoover up things down on the bottom. Oh my goodness, here we have quite the looker here. A very sizable stingray. And they do have pretty large, powerful teeth, but they're more for masticating, like grinding. They're these really big, strong plates. They're similar to sharks in that they're constantly replacing them. And I guess we were just talking about this. Technically, they are grouped with sharks, but their feeding behavior is very different. But they have that classic shark anatomy, shark physiology, where they're just constantly generating new teeth. And that's one of the reasons we really know much of anything about them in the fossil record, because they also have a cartilage-based skeleton. Okay. Sorry guys, that was a little bit more spinning than I had intended for. We're at Penguin Park. We can go back and look at the rays in a bit. Their eyes are sort of on the top and front of their head. It does depend on the species though. And then I believe... Oh my gosh, okay you guys. We might need to go to the side to get a better view of these guys. Thank you. These look like African penguins to me. We'll take a peek. I guess the feeding is at 3:15. Maybe we'll just go to the side, you guys, so we can get a... They are going to be doing a feeding in a minute or two. So we'll go take a peek. Hopefully reception will be fine. We're outside, so I'm cautiously optimistic. Okay. The penguins look lined up. They do a little bit, don't they? So I was right. These are African penguins. They have a pretty classic look to them. The good old African penguin. They're kind of... I don't want to say average size penguin, but I think they're like a predictable size penguin. They're not any of the Mondo guys. And they have that really classic look. And I think they're one of the most common penguins at aquariums. I'd say the second most common, and this is not based on scientific data, this is just based on my observation, I would say is the little blue. I'm guessing that has to do with the size of the habitat, size of the enclosure they need. I've mentioned this a lot, but the Cincinnati Zoo has done a lot of research into animal welfare, and penguins, the best habitats for penguin has a larger water space, a lot larger swimming. Yeah, I know we can't see them. They're up to the left, so we don't have viewing right now, but they did say that the feeding was going to be down here. So like the feeding is going to be by this door right there.
Yeah, when I tried calling, it was all just, a pre-recorded message. And we went.
Do we have bad signal?
There was no way.
We can, if we have bad signal, we can move.
Yeah, it looks super good.
I can move. You guys let me know. I'm not getting a report on, like, I'm not getting notified that we're... Okay, it was until we looked up. Okay, maybe I'll try to stay here. See, we have people coming out. See, here we go, guys.
Oh my god!
Stay right here. Oh, yeah.
dude.
Guys, I'm hoping we're doing all right on bit rate. It keeps going in and out, telling me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Penguin Park. My name is Kate, and I'm the guest experience specialist at the aquarium. If at any time during our meeting you have a question, you can find me up located closer to the playground. Now in front of you is one of our 2 colonies here at Adventure Aquarium. If you're walking around in Zone A, in there is our little blue penguins. The penguins that are in front of you are our African penguin colony. Now we currently have about 36 penguins here in front of you, all of which may or may not be in front of you at once. And toward the other end of the exhibit that is opened right by our biologist Jackie is going to lead back to another private paradise for our penguins.
All right, guys, how are we doing? I'm moving.
Our penguins do have a choice whether or not they want to come out on the exhibit. And yes, you did hear that line correctly. As it gets colder,
are we doing any better on video quality, guys?
In the Hollywood movies, many people think that all penguins enjoy the cold weather. However, out of the 18 known varieties of penguins, only 2 of them are going to live in those Arctic conditions.
Okay.
The yellow penguin and the emperor penguin. The penguins that are in front of you are African penguins, and their cousins are located right off the coast of southern Africa. We call this variety of penguin a temperate penguin. Now, a temperate penguin simply means that they're going to enjoy the warmer weather, very similar to a day like today in New Jersey or Pennsylvania.
Excellent. I don't know if you guys can hear.
We're going to realize that all of them may not be interested in Jackie. Now, that is okay because penguins have a special mechanism in their belly that lets them know when they are completely full. This is going to be
I'm hoping you guys can hear the announcer. If not, I can repeat.
And straight that I have not yet developed myself. So if you see a penguin that is closer to us, ignoring Jackie, that simply means that they fed they were full at our other feeds, either at 11:15 or before we started.
Excellent.
When that Jackie's doing that, will be their final public feed of the day. Now, Jackie is actually the one not controlling the feed. In this matter, the penguins are. Our penguins have a choice of what kind of fish they like and how much they're going to eat. A penguin can choose to eat 1 fish or 100 fish. As long as they're going to take them from Jackie, she will keep the food coming. And believe it or not, our penguins do have preferences, very much like we do as people. Some people may prefer pizza over hot dogs. Then they're going to do the same thing, and we're going to track our feed so we can keep what our penguins like on hand.
I will say I definitely prefer pizza over hot dogs, but that's just because I haven't met a good veggie hot dog. Oh, look at those little fish, you guys.
Over to the left and behind that door is usually somebody with an iPad. So the person on the iPad is simply recording what our penguins are eating and how much they're eating. This is going to allow us to tell the general health of our penguin colony. If a penguin starts to eat a little bit less, this might be a bird that we're going to have a little bit of veterinary care for in order to stress extra love. If a penguin is eating a little bit more, this is going to mean that 1 or 2 things can be occurring. Either we have a female penguin who's trying to nest and lay an egg, or we have a penguin that's going to
He
go
wanted
into
seconds, I know.
Now all birds are going to go through a bowl.
They said, I don't know if you guys could hear that, they said they don't control the feeding. They do let them eat as much as they want, but I'm sure they try to make sure that all of the penguins are also having an opportunity to feed.
That just means that they're going to lose all of their feathers at once.
Yeah, I think that is the way they typically ID them. They either have foot bracelets or these ones have little marks on their arms. I don't know if you guys can see that, little bands on their left upper part of their left wing.
60% of its body weight. Now you already noticed it, and that's summer bucket. Jackie is pulling out fish. Just like the other 18 known varieties of penguins, our African penguins have a very healthy appetite for fish. Now they're usually going to be fed things as trout, mackerel, and capelin. Now as you are watching our penguins get around,
those are some big fish, you guys. Holy moly. Holy moly.
African penguins are fantastic swimmers, and they can swim up to about 22 miles an hour. That's twice the speed of Michael Phelps when he won his Olympic gold medal. Now, what's even cooler about our penguins is that they are excellent divers. Our penguins can dive up to about 110 feet on their maximum dive.
Oh, sorry guys.
However, they will usually go about
That was my fault, obviously.
That is where most of their fish will be hanging out when they are hunting. What's even cooler about these penguins is a penguin can only hold their breath for 3 minutes. So they can dive this 110 feet and back up to the surface in under that 3 minutes. Now, as you are looking across the exhibit, you are going to realize that this is modeled after the coast of Africa. Now, this is just meant that our penguins have something that is known as enrichment. Now, enrichment simply means that we're going to make our penguins think and use their natural abilities. So as you're watching the penguins waddle across the cage or across the rocks, this is meant to promote our penguins' foot health. They would have to practice the grits that they would have to use like their cousins if they were out on the African coastline. Now, enrichment can also do something as simple as that pool.
So you guys, there's actually
once they're in that
current research
they can practice those dives and swims
out of the
that I just
Cincinnati
mentioned there.
Zoo that shows foot health in penguins is one of the biggest issues that they have, keeping them in captivity. And foot health is actually improved by having a bigger swimming area and spending less time on land. So that's the most current research I've seen. That research was done in little blue penguins, not African penguins, but I've heard that they're repeating it. I was talking to one of the researchers, it was more than a year ago, but they told me they were planning on repeating it with other penguin species that they have. Bumblefoot, yep, Bumblefoot. And one of the problems is when people are designing exhibits, they want it to be good viewing for the visitors. And so balancing what's good for the viewers and what's good for the animal health. And so that research that they were doing at the Cincinnati Zoo was helping reinforce the fact that the land is better for viewing, yes, but for the animal health, they need a bigger water zone, water area. There we go, Balint dropping the Robert, the penguin emotes. Those are some well-fed penguins, you guys. At this point, they're pretty polite, forming a little line. I think it's all right. I know the angle isn't the best here because there's a rock blocking the action, but reception, I think this is the only place we're getting any decent reception, so maybe we should start treating them as aquarium animals, not zoo animals. Well, you know, the Cincinnati Zoo, after they had that research, they redid their whole penguin enclosure. I know I always wax poetic about the Cincinnati Zoo, but they are one of the leaders in animal welfare. Always doing a lot of research and updating their exhibits and their methods based on whatever the most current research is saying. Jen is online. Welcome the heck in here. Thank you for hanging. We were just watching. I think the feeding is pretty much done. We were just watching a penguin feeding. We will take you guys to the Cincinnati Zoo sometime soon. We've been talking about it. We have some people that we know who do research in there. They have a very large insect house. Maybe we'll be able to actually get in behind the scenes and talk to some people at that zoo. It'd be amazing. Some of them are starting to meander off. They're like, all right, I've had it. They're doing the countdown. I don't know if you can hear it. She's warning them. Last call, guys. Last call. I know they have bans. A lot of the penguin keepers obviously can eventually start recognizing these critters, but it helps them with recording who's eating what. If it's not, if for instance, if it's a new penguin keeper, et cetera, or if they're just taking a glance. One of the things I was told by a penguin keeper at the Cincinnati Zoo, it's always the Cincinnati Zoo, I know. They said one of the clearest features, if you're trying to identify a penguin, is the different shape of their beaks. That's the first thing you start to recognize. So I was told by one of the penguin keepers. You start recognizing their beak first, the distinctions in their beak. I wonder if, since he already has reduced incidence of bumblefoot because of the attention to detail, I think it'd be a good question to ask them. Yeah, clearly chatting with them, I know. She's been warning them. She's calling some of them by name to see if she can get any of them to come over and eat. Wonder if the penguin keepers can recognize them individual. A lot of the penguin keepers can eventually. Like I said, I mean, most of them, I feel like, you know, for a casual viewer, I feel like are difficult to tell apart. Eventually they can. So I've been told. And like I said, with the African penguins, this might not be true with the other ones, but the African penguins, their beak shape can be very unique. I don't think I can get a close enough pic. We're already at 3x. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit and see if you guys can see how different the beak shape is amongst these individuals. Some of their beaks get a little rough and ragged. Also some of the coloration on the beaks. Two black cats who are siblings, and as long as there's light, I can usually tell them apart. Yeah. It gets tricky when, I imagine it gets tricky when you have a couple dozen penguins. But if you work with them long enough. I just thought the beak thing was an interesting fact. That was one of the keepers that told me that. I think I probably asked that exact question. How do you tell them apart? You tell me. It starts with the beak. Yeah, but yeah, also they will have different behaviors. You know, it's always amazing to me how scientists have to prove things like different animals have distinct personalities. I just feel like it goes without saying. I understand we want to measure things and prove things, but gosh, it was, I want to say 2017, something around there, 2016, 2017. A study came out demonstrating that lizards have distinct personalities. I feel like it was iguanas, but I could be wrong. And I was like, why did we need to prove that? Did we really not know that different animals behave differently? Read an article about a family who brought home the wrong golden retriever home from doggy daycare. Oh my goodness. And they thought their dog was acting weird. Yeah, the cat was like, nope. Absolutely freaking not. And I bet that was both on all things, like visual, but also scent. I bet that cat was like, absolutely freaking not. That person behind her being, yeah, no, the person behind the zookeeper doing the feeding is recording how much each penguin is eating. Oh my gosh, Laura Gale, that's beautiful. Flamingo at the Columbus Zoo. Ooh, hug her. Oh, that's adorable. I love that. I do want to stop by the Columbus Zoo. If we do a little tour of Ohio, we'll spend a number of days at the Cincy Zoo. I can promise you that. But there's also like an outdoor safari type park. And yeah, I've heard good things about the Columbus Zoo as well. Mr. Irish, welcome the heck in. How are you doing? I'm sure you guys all know this, but please go check out Rise of Piracy. Made by the one and the only Mr. Irish John Games. We're just checking out this. I think they're rounding out the penguin feeding, but I thought it was a little unique thing, so we're just going to hang around for another minute. I have other random penguin things I can tell you about. One of my favorite recent penguin studies is on penguin sleep. How is it that penguins sleep, especially when they're incubating eggs and things? Scientists didn't know. So some very dedicated researchers went out and actually put electrodes on penguin brains, on the penguins, not their brains, gosh, on penguins though, so they could monitor brain activity. And gosh, look at these little guys. It turns out penguins do micro sleeps, so they don't rest for 8 hours at a time. They can't afford to do that. They do micro sleeps. It's little miniature sleeps under 30 seconds, oftentimes between 4 and 10 seconds. Their brain pops into sleep zone. And when you add all of them up, they're sleeping for up to 11 hours a day, which is shocking. They'll even do little micro sleeps out when they're swimming in the water. Yeah, the micro sleep thing, it's just ridiculous. I love it. I love all these crazy sleep studies they do on animals, right? A lot of animals do that, especially marine animals, dolphins, some sharks apparently, migrating birds. They'll put half of their brain to sleep at a time, rotate. Sleep is way more important than we used to think it was, especially to figuring out clever ways to sleep is always the trick. I remember a long time ago, I've read some papers from back then because I had an interest in kind of sleep biology, what it does to the brain. Sleep is pretty important for not dying. Yeah, well, that's true for humans, and it's true for most terrestrial animals. I mean, as it turns out, it's true pretty much for every animal we actually bother to study. But if you read really old papers, gosh, not 20 or 30 years old, there's a lot of debate about if aquatic animals sleep. And if aquatic animals didn't sleep, if they had ways of rejuvenating their brain without sleeping, then how did sleep evolve? That was one of the questions. But the more we study it, it turns out, no, it is really very important for all animals. It's just sleep can come in different ways. It might, to the casual observer, might not look like an animal is sleeping. Wish I could do micro sleeps. Oh my gosh. I wish I could nap. You guys. I mean, Munchkin's a pretty good napper. Balint's a great napper. I know a lot of people who just can, go down for a half an hour. Do you know how long it takes for me to fall asleep? It's going to take me 2 to 3 hours just to fall asleep. That's a normal person's generous nap. And then once I'm down, heaven help you if you want me to get up in a half an hour. You can train yourself to Samara Faye. I do not believe that I can train myself to nap. I don't believe that I can do it. It takes me too long to fall asleep. I have bouts of pretty bad insomnia, but even when I don't have straight up insomnia, it still takes me hours to fall asleep. And then, like I said, then I think it's just because I'm always so tired. Once I go down for a nap, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm a toddler. I run till I pass out. You know, Munchkin is approaching toddler stage, and she still remains to be a pretty good napper, but we'll see. I've been told. Oh, sorry, we're still on Zoom, you guys. Yikes. Involves a lot of hacking of sleep cycles and circadian rhythms and routines and even food. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that's true. I could probably get better at naps, but I've tried sleep training myself just to break out of insomnia cycles when they hit me, and I've not found a gosh darn thing that works. Short of some pretty strong medications, and those just don't, they're just not my thing. I'll just be tired. The longest I've ever gone without sleeping, I used to talk about this when we do like, what was it, Insomnia Tuesdays, where we talk sleep biology. We should probably talk sleep biology sometime again, you guys, but the longest I've ever gone without sleeping is 4 days. I've had a couple of those. Things start getting real weird when you go that long without sleeping. Eventually I do fall asleep though. Laura Gale slept through the night since your parent. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's some ridiculous claims on the internet, even by like somewhat credible sites, that say you can't, like you'll just like spontaneously die if you go more than 2 days without sleeping or something. And I'm living proof that that's not true. Things do start getting a little weird, for sure. Things do get weird. 2 days isn't too bad for me. That is not wildly uncommon, but 4 days, gosh. I don't think I was hallucinating even at 3, but maybe it's different. I mean, I'm sure it's different from person to person. And also I've been like insomnia training myself my whole life. Not intentionally. Longest I've ever gone without sleep is 36 hours. Real weird after that. All right, we're going to zoom back out. I do know people who've gone without sleep longer than that. There are some people who've tried. There was like a graduate student that was trying to document what happened to him as he didn't sleep. And I'm trying to remember, I think he went 11 days without sleeping. And then they had to pull the plug because there was like a medical intervention. He was hallucinating. It got real crazy. And there are a lot of mouse studies and fruit fly studies about sleep, depriving animals of sleep. And weird stuff starts happening pretty quickly. One of the things that I thought was really interesting from the mouse studies, we won't go too much into it, you guys. I know I'm going far afield. We're at an aquarium and I'm talking about sleep studies and stuff. But really quickly, one of the things they found with the mice is that sleep-deprived mice start eating a lot more but still lose weight. Even though they're eating more, their body weight goes down. All right, we're going back in. I'm hoping we don't. This is a little bit of a tunnel, so just crossing my fingers about reception, you guys. Let's see if we can just do the auto door so I don't have to spin you guys around. I need to be a sleep-deprived mouse. You absolutely do not. Their organ systems start doing crazy things. That weight loss is because their metabolism is all nuts. Holy moly. When I stay up all night, I get hungry. Yeah. I mean, I've never tracked it, but I do feel like that's... I always assumed I was like kind of stress eating when I was that tired, but after I read that study, it was like, I don't know. That was about a 25%. All right, I'm gonna see if we can trade off here, you guys. I think I might give you back to Balint in a minute.
All right, we back. Woohoo! Okay. Yeah, if you don't mind. Beverage is behind you. Yep. All right, y'all. Let's see. All right, we're under the sea. Chat, you see that? Oh my God, we're just hitting sea jokes left, right, and center. All right, y'all, to the touch exhibits we go. Apparently they also had some outdoor stuff at some point. The little arena out there. I think at this point, it's more historic than anything.
This brother, she is gay.
Oh, there's a view of Philly, y'all. If y'all wanted to see, there is the city of Philadelphia. Much prettier from this side. All right, y'all. And here we have the dwarf caiman. Somewhere in here. Maybe Golganak, yeah. Oh, there it is. Y'all see. There's the caiman's butt. Let's see. Oh yeah, his nose is sticking out. We can get a nice little upper shot of him too. Check that out, y'all. Beautiful little creature. Alright, supposedly there's frogs this way, y'all. Let's go check out some frogs. Also, there's a play area for Munchkin. Oh, alright, starting off, we have the Amazon milk frog. Milky white fluid it secretes for protection. Known for loud vocalizations at night. These are always the challenging ones to find, y'all. Thank you for the follow, Volt. I don't have a good view of them in here. No, do not drink the milk frog's milk. Yeah, not sure where, chat. Let's see. This is the Emperor Newt. Hello, digital deck. We can see the boot. The Emperor Newt right there. Oh, yep. Good catch, Warducky. Nice catch. So the spots on the back are venom glands. Lethal to small animals. And then here, y'all, we have the Argentine horned frog. This little guy is easy to see. There he is. Known as the Pac-Man due to its enormous mouth size, patient hunter will lie in wait for days and lunge at prey that comes too close. Thanks.
No.
And then here we've got some poison dart frogs. It does look like a melted frog, doesn't it, Cass? Yep, we've got some poison dart frogs here. This is the reticulated poison dart frog. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, y'all, they're only lethal if fed the correct diet. So my guess is that these are not fed those diets. In here, we've got a couple of poison dart frogs. There's a blue poison dart frog, green and black, and yellow banded. There's the blue. And the golden one. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, guys. Oh, hold on, y'all. Give me 1 sec, y'all, with the camera. Oh, it is a battery issue. Hold, please. All right, chat. You are now in my hands because the battery died. Hello, Lady Lara Croft. Welcome in. How's it going, madame? Apologies, y'all. We had charged everything beforehand. But yeah, the battery we've lost, so that'll go in my pocket. And let's see what we can find in here. There should be white tree frog in here. Right there, y'all. Let me go ahead and see and make sure that we have stabilization on the camera. Okay, yep, it's on. Cool. So you got a bit of extra stabilization, y'all, that I don't have right now because of the gimbal. Oh, and then we've got the axolotl. Lost the gimbal. It's dead. Yeah. Could you hold for a sec? You just hold it here and here. Thank you.
Alright guys, I'm driving for a minute while Balint figures out the gimbal situation. You guys, axolotls are freaking amazing. I'm sorry, I know it's a little bit more wobbly than we would like right now. I'm hoping the gimbal's gonna sort out. I don't know what Balint has already told you guys about axolotls, but they're freaking amazing. They're salamanders. So they have some interesting regenerative abilities. A lot of salamanders do. It varies species to species. But these guys are salamander, which is kind of odd, you might think. But this is their final form. A lot of salamanders are terrestrial as adults. And this is sort of more or less the body plan of a juvenile salamander. But these guys just stay aquatic. Alright, I'm going to go find Balint and see what the situation is with the gimbal, you guys. I'm going to try to be really careful because I'm just holding you guys. Not feeling great about this. I'm just going to do a quick little check-in. Juvenile Matamata. Make like a leaf. Here we go, you guys. That is one heck of a turtle. Look at that beautiful honker of a head right there. Matamata turtles hide and hunt by sitting still and blending with leaves that could have fallen into the river. That's what the sign says. Alright, hang on. We're gonna jump back and just... I got distracted with the turtle and I didn't check in with Balint about the gimbal. Let's just see really quickly how we're doing. Oh, we have toads with some of their weird, crazy rearing, offspring rearing techniques. We might go back and take a peek, but I just want to see. We're just going to check in. What is the gimbal situation? It's charging. Can we
use it while it's charging?
Yep. Okay.
Yep. I guess I underestimated how much it was used for.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to.
Maybe give it like 10 minutes and we'll see.
Okay. I don't know. Is your mic on?
No.
No. Okay. All right, guys. I don't know if you heard that. Balint says we're gonna be freehanding it for about 10 minutes and then see where things stand with the gimbal. No, thank you so much. I'm trying real hard. I really don't want to make people sick. I'm really sensitive to motion sickness, so. No, you guys are fine. You guys are totally fine. We have some amazing little anemones and things. We're looking for a long-spined sea urchin. A sign says it should be in here somewhere. And then we have a cardinal fish. Right there. That is a cardinal fish. There's some really weird things about cardinal fish. Hi, sweetie. We have another training docent. Hi. There are a bunch of different species of cardinal fish. There are a lot of cardinal fish. I believe this is one of them. We're gonna, sorry guys, we're just gonna zoom out here for a minute. There's another one over here that you might be able to see a little bit better. A lot of species of cardinal fish are in danger. I mean, for a lot of the reasons that fish are in danger, but especially because people love to collect them. If you happen to have an aquarium, you know, that's cool and amazing, you know, like a fish tank or whatever. That's amazing. And first of all, I'm jealous. But make sure you're getting your fish from an ethical source, because a lot of fish are just collected from the wild, and that's putting some species, like this guy, at pretty significant risk. Oh, and then we have a little, here we go. That's one heck of a swim technique. Look at that. That little guy was a shrimp fish. I didn't recognize them, but we're going to go over to this placard. Shrimp fish. That's what we were looking for. They swim with their heads down and their tails up, camouflage themselves among sea urchin spines. I didn't see a sea urchin in there. I was looking for there's a sign that says we should be able to see a long spined sea urchin, and I didn't see one. The anemone in here, which is freaking gorgeous. Let's take another look. These guys, these beauties, are long tentacle anemones is what they're called, and they are just gorgeous. Really, if I had a saltwater tank, I would just want anemones and corals. I mean, look, fish are cool, but mostly they're for the anemones, which is ridiculous, I know. I just don't think I have the wherewithal for a saltwater tank. Maybe one day. Oh, hang on. There we go. I'm trying to not go too crazy, but do you guys see that guy swimming around like that? Munchkin sees it. Alright, I don't see the sea urchin, but that's okay. We are going to see what other interesting fish there are in this area. Oh, holy moly, we have some cool guys over here. Okay, you know what, guys? We're gonna look for the yellow banded sweet lips, just because that is a hilarious name. This is what we're looking for here. For no other reason other than the name is hilarious. Yellow banded sweet lips. Allegedly in here somewhere. I'll keep my eye out. You guys keep your eyes peeled as well. Alright, I think this ridiculous guy is a tang. I don't know what kind of tang. I think that's what this is. Well, you guys, they might be hiding elsewhere. I don't want to zip this camera around too much, so let's just cruise along. Uh-oh, I see more, and I see a lot of coral. I see a coral display, so let's go do this. Let's check out this coral.
A lot of cool bioluminescence, fluorescence here.
Well, a lot of these guys do have biofluorescence, but what we're seeing right now would be biofluorescence. A lot of corals and anemones can bioluminesce. Often, it's kind of split. Some of them can do it themselves. Some of them host little critters that can bioluminesce for them. Bioluminescence is the process where, using a chemical reaction, they generate their own light, even in the dark. Biofluorescence means that they can take one wavelength of light and turn it into a different wavelength, so it looks as though they're glowing. But if it's completely pitch dark, after a certain period of time, they will go dark themselves. Sometimes, if you think about like the glowy, some of you maybe have like glow in the dark stickers and things like that, and it's like, well, they are glowing in the dark. That just is because they can hold on to the light energy and emit it more slowly, but they're not doing this chemical reaction that allows bioluminescence itself. So if you keep something that fluoresces, okay, in the dark long enough, eventually it won't be able to generate light, and it won't look like it's glowing. And so a lot of corals, like I said, a lot of corals and anemones can bioluminesce. But what we're seeing right here is biofluorescence. Ooh, and we have an urchin. Hang on. There might be a ribbon eel in here somewhere. I saw a sign. There's some crazy green polyp toadstool, which maybe is in here. I don't know that I see it, but maybe it's a different... Oh, wait, maybe. Oh, I think that was the crazy thing we were just looking at. I think that might have been... So this, gosh, you're not getting a good picture at it, but this is one of the urchins I wanted to look at because they are crazy. And unfortunately, they're just not in the best spot for viewing. But I think this guy that I was kind of zooming in before, talking about biofluorescence, this guy right there, beautiful example of biofluorescence. We have a couple other little spots of it. That's the green polyp toadstool. This guy. It has that under UV flavored glow. Yeah, it does. Yeah, so there is a broad spectrum light, including a fair UV light. That's actually controversial. I'm sure that this is a pretty low intensity UV light. But it is controversial, at least putting high power UV lights with fish. I don't know if it bothers corals and anemones, but some fish are a lot more sensitive to it. So if you're going to do it, you know, talk to your vet. There are vets that specialize in fish, in case anybody's wondering. Make sure you're getting the right power. Right intensity for the animals that you're housing. Like I said, you guys, I would just be happy with corals and anemones if I were ever to get a saltwater tank. I just think they're wild. This guy. Look at that. What's not to love about these guys? They're just ridiculous in the best of ways. And we have another urchin behind this. But I mean, they're just the most extraordinary, ridiculous, and I feel like the color's off, so you guys can't even appreciate truly how glorious these little things look. I think, well, I don't want to speak out of turn, but some of these guys, oh my gosh. So the blue spectrum does travel farthest in water compared to the longer wavelengths, like the red wavelengths, which I know is counterintuitive. Some of you guys might have heard something different for wavelengths through air, but through water it is different. And so that's why a lot of bioluminescent aquatic animals are in the blue spectrum, in the shorter wavelength. So UV light probably does penetrate deeper than at least, you know, the longer wavelengths. But from what I've heard, really high intensity UV light is not something that is particularly common. And so you just want to be sensitive to your animals. And that's why I say, you know, there are vets that specialize in marine and aquatic animals. If I were to go about having one of these one day, which heaven help me, sounds amazing, but also kind of sounds like a nightmare. I would just check with one of the vets that specialize in that, because I don't know. And would I really trust whatever I found on the internet? Probably not. There's a lot of true stuff out on the internet, and there's also a whole lot of garbage. All right, Balint's just to the left of us, so we're just rotating ever so slowly.
But you guys, we do have another pretty tank here. Hi, Agathor, you beautiful soul. Golganite, thank you for following the lovely Agathor. He does gaming streams and also SciCom. We did see a tiny most of you, Agathor, how dare. So Lita, down here.
Yes. There is a baby. Oh my gosh.
I think I have to get a different angle, but you can kind of see it, y'all.
There's a medium-sized one back there as well.
I think it's a cutie. What do you think?
I adore these guys. They've been around for a heck heck of a long time. Controversially, people call them living fossils, but we all know to take that with a grain of salt. It means they come from a very long lineage, but it does not mean that they have ceased to evolve. With a few exceptions, a few asterisks there, looking at some of the gar.
And here's a bigger one, y'all.
And I don't know if Balint mentioned this to you guys already, but not actually crabs. Not actually crabs.
Agathor
Not a
says
true crab.
living fossil like his mother-in-law.
Want want. Oh, we have some pipefish here.
Oh, and some seahorses too, it looks like.
All in the same family, as well as sea dragons.
Although I don't see any sea dragons in here, but I do see a beautiful soul in the chat by the name of Andrew CZ. Hello, Andrew.
Andrew CZ, thank you so much for being here. How are you, my friend? Are you having a fantastic weekend, I hope? So one of the common things in this whole grouping of fish, oh, Munchkin is getting fussy, but they do propel themselves. They do, it kind of looks like they're drifting, and that is part of their camouflage. It's part of their defense. But they do actually have directed movement. They just have their fins very translucent, almost transparent. And so you really probably have to be in person. You have to really squint to see them fluttering at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But this kind of meandering, it is directed movement, but it's not particularly fast. It's a little bit like the sloth in the sense that their movement is physiologically designed to help them be camouflaged. So we have a dragon face pipefish in here that I saw a while ago. We have an alligator pipefish, which is, I think, what you're looking at now. And
I like
then we
how
have
the seahorse is just chilling.
Yeah, and then we have a white seahorse in there, as well as a banded pipefish.
It's very cute.
Yeah. Oh no, that seahorse has decided
hilarious.
to latch on to the pipefish. It's using its little prehensile tail to anchor itself to that little pipefish, which I'm not sure the pipefish is totally on board with. The seahorses will usually do that to, you know, rocks or plants to anchor themselves. I'm not sure how often it happens to another fish. Poor pipefish. That pipefish seems to be pretty good-natured about the whole thing, though.
It's like, all right, Jefferson, it's fine. Thanks, Frank. You can zoom in on the tail.
That is hilarious, you guys. It's anchoring both of them down.
Right? I don't know. It's like cloudy, yeah, I don't know.
My guess is it was right now.
Nice catch with that, Lita. Oh, the other one's interested in it. So, oh, it's a really nice piece of grass you got there.
Yeah, all the other seahorses are anchored to the fake grass that they have in here. Or what actually, I don't know that it's fake grass. I can't tell.
If it's fake grass or real,
I guess it looks real.
I don't know. I guess it looks like both. They kind of, I can also see it not being real.
I think it is real.
I like how Neil said it. They're cousins, so it's all in the family. It's fine.
So this guy, I think, is the banded pipefish.
What music does he play?
That's a question for Jimmy B. This poor harassed pipefish, I think, is the alligator pipefish.
If you can reach me, can, but they're saying no thank you, I'm tired.
I like Cass's kazoo noises, maybe. Is what that guy plays. Agathor says, I swear Balint only became a father so he can tell dad jokes without prejudice.
I think he's just been training. He's been in training to be a dad, at least ever since I've known him.
Oh, that's cool. There's some of the feeding area, y'all.
Oh, this is cool. The culture kitchen. Hang on. This is my kind of thing here, chat. Plankton, brine shrimp, rotifers.
So the Artemidia are the brine shrimp or sea monkeys. Oh, low bit rate.
I'm going to take lunch first, so I think she's getting a little fussy.
Okay. So there's plankton, brine shrimp, rotifers, mysid shrimp, and algae in here. It was the daylight setting when we came. I didn't realize that they have this change. There's again the piranha, y'all. Whoa! And I yours, Mike sees. It definitely sets a cool ambiance. Terrible to see the piranha, but it sets a great ambiance. All right, what are you thinking, Lita? Should we head outside, maybe? Or we can do one more pass by of the hippos.
Maybe one quick drive by of the hippos. The reception wasn't too bad that way. So you guys, I don't know if you got to see the piranhas much at all. And piranhas do get kind of a bad rap. They are mostly carnivorous, but they will eat a plant if given the opportunity. And they really don't go after humans. They have to be really starved to go after something big. Or, you know, maybe a dead body. Sorry, a little dark. But they're not really known to go for living humans.
So like the piranha movies probably are inaccurate.
Yeah. Now, if a giant school of piranhas are starving, I know that they can turn on each other. So would they absolutely not try anything? You know, I don't want to make any promises, but it is, people swim in piranha inhabited waters all the time without incident. So they get a little bit of an unfair rap.
Oh, I'm not sure, Lita, if you wished Winsing a happy Wednesday +3 or -3 +4, but you know, it's an important thing that we must do. The lovely Winsing. All right,
Winsing, I mean, I think I already welcomed you in. welcome the heck in. And no, I'm sure I didn't do whatever ridiculous math it is that Balint does, but that's, you know, it's a special thing between the two of you. Who am I to intrude? All right, are the hippos still up on land?
They are not.
They are not, so maybe we'll take a peek, see if they're in the water, and then we can decide where we're gonna head out.
But is this a Gila monster, Lita?
No, it is not. It is not. What an outrageous thing to suggest.
It's a beautiful lizard. That is a Euromastix dispar. Smikes, no lurk, or no sorry, how dare. JD, hi J Dizzle. JD, how are you doing today, you beautiful soul? Guys, make sure to go follow the lovely JD Does That. We had a great stream this morning, as he always does. We're on the hunt for a hippo. Oh, maybe they went inside, Lita, because the little gate, gate is open.
Could be. We'll just take a peek down here. I don't see them in the water, but
oh no, there they are.
They are?
Is that not both of them?
Well, see, I can't. Well, we're gonna go under the water to the water viewing portion, and we'll see.
Oh,
here we go. Underwater hippos.
I think it's also really cool that they have them at the aquarium. Hello, Traveling Tatter. Welcome in.
Okay, all right, hang on. You can come out and look just a little bit. Okay, hang on.
Thank you, Spikes. It looks like they're playing with the tire from earlier. Any guesses as to what the hay is that's floating around, chat? That's true, B. They can hold their breath. It is poo. Agathor and Sam have gotten it right. They eat hay, and they poop out these beautiful clumps of hay, and then the fish in here actually eat them. The beautiful circulated of life, the circle of life. And go check on Munchkin. Oh, it looks like Munch is out. She's fat out in her little spot. She's out of her spot. Whoa.
What did you think of that hippo who came to say hi to you? Do you see the hippo playing with its tire as well?
Yeah. I know, Andrew. I hope we got a clip of that. That was super cutie patootie.
Yeah. Do we want to? Oh, we have some. I hope you guys were able to hear that. I don't know if you guys were able to hear that vocalization, but I love it. Hippos make the craziest sounds. Shall we?
Hey, Fishman. How's it going, sir? Fishman, you just missed the cutest thing. The hippo came over and Munchkin got to point at it.
She got scared at first and then enjoyed herself. She wasn't sure about this massive creature coming to say hello. All right, shall we?
We shall.
All right, Munchkin. We gotta go back in
A little last look for y'all. Helping my friend do the shopping for the month. Fishman, are you allowed to go in there? Nice, Fishman. Guys, please go follow Fishman. He's trying to get 750 followers. And then also follow our friend Turgis so that Fishman can shave his mustache. Awesome. Thank you, Lara Gale. And thank you, Sam. All right, do we just want to cycle through this way, just like keep walking? We'll just keep moving. Hi, Queen Britt. Welcome in, madame. How are you? We're just going to make our way through the exhibit now, chat. We've already gone through this earlier. So if y'all did see us and join us, thank you. It's also a lovely octopus. That was super cool to see that octopus in there. Make sure to check out the VOD, y'all. We had a lot of cool sea creatures today. Thank you, Reese Cup. We are doing these IRL trips now Sundays. Aquariums and fossil hunting and all kinds of crazy cool stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool places that we'll be going to see. This upcoming next week or so, we'll also have a few pop-up IRLs, I think. A few adventures.
You can have that.
All right, y'all, through the exhibit we go. We have not. Well, we've done a zoo brew, Sam, where they were doing like a brewery and food items throughout the zoo, but we haven't done, like, that was the only evening thing we've done so far. Turtleback? Laura Gale, please to send me that info on Discord, madame, if you don't mind. Laura Gale said there's also a zoo in Jersey called the Turtleback Zoo.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a couple different aquariums in the area with different emphasis on things. I know we'll be doing the Liberty Science Center at one point. There's a lot of cool stuff to see in the area. We'll be doing some nature walks. It's going to be a good time. I don't know where you're going.
I'm just pulling over because, yeah, okay. Someone was rushing you and it was making me nervous. When are we going to the London Zoo, asks Agathor.
I mean, put it on the list.
Oh yeah, Longwood Garden, absolutely fishing.
Yes.
We've been there once before.
We have.
For
and
a Christmas tour.
Yeah,
that
has definitely made it on the list.
All right, maybe I'll go down the escalator and we'll walk outside and then we'll raid out. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and go down. Lita's gonna take the elevator. I'm not gonna take y'all in there because that probably will lose us service. The aquarium closes in, like 15 minutes, so we're just gonna go ahead and walk on outside in a sec. Thank you, Laura Gale. I appreciate you, madame. This way I don't forget. Show y'all a nice view in a sec. Hi, Volcano Doc. Welcome in, madame. There's Philadelphia. Guys, shout out to Volcano Doc, professor of volcanology, the hottest science on Twitch. Please go follow the lovely Volcano Doc. Madame, how the heck are you doing? Maybe Fishman. That's kind of outside of our wheelhouse. Yeah, so Volcano Doc, we're aiming to do these on Sundays. So IRL on Sundays. We'll have lots planned for you guys. I'm going to take the Munchkin out, you guys. I think maybe if there's automatic doors. There are automatic doors, chat. All right, let's do it. Whew, there we go. The little water walkway here is really pretty. Here, we'll go down a little bit. What a lovely place to raid out, Jack. Oh. There we go. Yes, Fishman, you are very pretty. All right. I should go ahead and unplug the battery. There we go. And then, hold on, y'all. Give me one. All right, we should be reconnected on the nice audio. So, yeah, there's Philly. So that is the Ben Franklin Bridge, Wombat. Some jet skis over there. Thank you, Lara Gale. No, it's a pretty view. Munchkin seems to be enjoying it as well, right, Munchie? What do you think, Munch? Ubi says, because I said it's the Ben Franklin Bridge,
Yeah.
that Ben Franklin and jet skis don't always match up.
All right. What are we thinking? We got a nice little view of the Philly skyline.
It is pretty, right?
Somewhere over there is the Perlman Center. One of those ridiculously all-glass buildings. I kind of think it's that one. But I could be getting myself discombobulated. All right.
All right, shall we fire up a Raiderino?
Heck yeah.
Well, do you want to sit down on the bench and say goodbye to everyone over there?
Yeah.
Just in time, because I think the gimbal is wanting to,
All
to
right.
give up again.
Perfect. Perfect timing.
Go. All right, thanks y'all very much for hanging out with us today at the aquarium for my birthday celebration with Munchie as well. Look at that. We saw a lot of really cool. Whoa! We saw a really cool animals. We'll be back again live tomorrow for Microscopy Monday with a special guest of Thomas Merritt. And the rest of the week, as usual, we'll have Tinker Tuesday. Whoop! I told y'all it was about to cut out. Hold on. Look at that. Perfect timing. So, Whack-'em Wednesday, then we'll have Science Game Night, then we'll have Science News of the Week, Sci-Fi Science, and then next Sunday is another IRL trip.
And we're going to have some pop-ups coming up as well.
We'll announce it on the Discord, so make sure to join up on the Discord. It'll also be on the socials as well, so make sure you're following there. Let me quickly drop those links for y'all. And there's the socials, and here is the Discord, so keep an eye on those. All right, I think let's continue the Science IRL, Lita.
All right, let's do it.
Shall we go to the Dino Dig site?
Heck yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to go over to a besto friendo by the name of Paleontologizing.
You guys, most of you guys are already following, but if this is your first time stopping in with Paleo, you're going to want to smash the follow button. But you guys grab the raid messages. Please let him know who's sending you over, and I promise you guys are going to want to hang around and watch what he's up to. It's always a fantastic time.
Make sure if the raid messages... Oh, Jaded Fairy, thank you for grabbing those raid messages for us. Appreciate the heck out of you, madame. Let's go ahead and make sure I see the actual raid countdown. What? Is the raid countdown going, y'all? I actually can't see it anymore.
It's gone. It's disappeared.
It's disappeared, chat. Maybe. Hold on. Munchkin can see it. Munchkin can see it.
Yeah, I know. Munchkin is very sophisticated.
It's about halfway. Thanks, y'all. I know. Pro streamers here. Pro streamers here. All right. Well, the raid counter's going. We're just going to leave y'all with a view then of the city. And since I can't click just go, just enjoy the view. And we'll see y'all tomorrow for Microscopy Monday.
Hang on. Okay.